and used to talk like this in the 1960s, right? But that has changed, and I say that over the years, Michael's voice has come down several octaves. Let me finish. And all of the cigars and the brandy, don't let me finish, can now be heard.
Okay.
I've not fucking finished in the back of the voice, and the voice now. We are still not finished. Michael Caine's voice now in the Batman movies and in Harry Brown. I can't go fast because Michael Caine talks very, very slowly.
Well, this is how Michael Caine speaks. Michael Caine speaks to his nose like that. He gets very, very specific. It's very like that. When he gets loudly, it gets very loud indeed. It gets very specific. It's not quite nasal enough the way you're doing it. All right? You're not doing it the way he speaks. You're not doing it with the kind of... And you don't do the broken voice when he gets very emotional. When he gets very emotional indeed. She was only 16 years old. She was only 16. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. That's Michael Caine.
I'd ask you what might sound like a silly question, but, do you have a favorite wood? Sure, it's not silly at all. It's like asking a pianist who their favorite composer is. American white oak is, to me, the most noble of woods. It's the stoutest. It's incredibly dense. It's what the hulls of old wooden ships were built on.
But if you were wearing a microphone...
If I was wearing a pack.
Right, so you
just shoved it on.
You look like you got a pack going on in there right now.
This is real mystic and all, but do you have anything new to hear?
So we decided all of us at the table and have us a little bit. And everybody wanted me to do murder.
Swirl it around, bring it up and say, hello. Then you go back to it. How are you? And then go back to it. Quite well. Thank you very much.
I know this steak doesn't exist. I know that when I put it in my mouth, the matrix is telling my brain that it is juicy and delicious.
He says we're going the wrong way. Oh, he's drunk. How would he know where we're going? Yeah, how would he know? Thank you. Thanks a lot. Terrific. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of What the Hell Do You Expect? I am your host, Kevin Ryan, weighing in this week at 189 pounds, and with me as always, sitting across the table, as we're doing this, another installment of the Ghetto episode series. Oh, by the way, before we introduce my co-host, this is episode number 8 in a collector's series. So, yeah, without further ado, the illustrious Colin Supplee.
What I really want to know, Kevin, is do you weigh yourself every week for the specific purpose of this show?
You know, it's funny, I do.
Oh, okay.
No, I actually do. Because there's a scale in the gym, sort of near, like, not near or in the weight room, but near enough to the weight room that I every Friday I'll usually just head down there because I usually have stuff to do on academic side anyway. Every Friday I'll head down there and weigh myself and make note of it just to have that for the show. So I actually do weigh myself. These aren't just numbers pulled out of my ass.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And guess what? We have another guest today.
Thank you. I was waiting.
Whoa! No,
Yeah.
we had to do our little cock-sucking introduction first.
Yeah,
And then
we had to jerk each other off a little bit first.
Yeah, you know. Say each other's praises.
You know. So yeah, like Colin was saying, we have a guest this week. This is Lee Sheridan. She is a longtime friend of the show and even longer time friend of Colin.
9 years?
9 years, something.
Yeah.
A long time.
She's a friend of the family. We keep her very close.
Oh my god. Yeah, they both come
Ancient.
from what's that weird Voshan?
Vashon.
Vashon.
Vashon. That's the place.
Vashana.
Unvaccinated, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
the,
totally.
The island
Totally,
where
the hippie
no
parents.
one is.
You know, I actually
Yeah.
I have a hella hippie story about Vashon. My 80-year-old grandmother visited Vashon once, and actually this isn't very hippie, but she was like, "Oh, you live on Vashon, Colin?" And I was like, "Yeah, Grandma." And I was like, 14, 13 at the time. And she's like, "Vashon, that's the name of the old huntsman guy from Beauty and the Beast, right?"
Is it?
No, it's Gaston.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
So,
Sound right.
You're as bad as his grandma, Lee.
so basically the story isn't even funny. It's just about how my grandmother's senile. But
That's
Well, I mean,
awful.
that's funny.
well, it's
Senile
not because
grandmothers
she's
can be
the
If you're sick.
she's the sweetest individual. But
I'm sure she is,
Yeah.
but she's senile, which makes her funny.
people out of their mind are funny because they remind us of our own mortality, Kevin.
I don't know about the mortality part, but I guess they remind us of the fragility of our own minds, maybe.
Yeah, I had a phrase to go with that. Something about Mongols and no, Valar Morghulis. All men must die.
What a terrible segue.
I'm sorry, I'm working with
We
it.
could
Come
have
on.
gone with more like interesting stories about Vashon, but you just like
Yeah.
Do you want to tell?
haphazardly
Okay,
threw
no.
it in.
No, here's the thing. Actually, what you could have done is tell more stories about Vashon, and the stories just become more and more, like, slowly the story morphs into Game of Thrones.
How about we just do that anyway?
But now everybody
But now we've
knows.
talked. Fine, okay.
That'll be the game for them though, because then they have to pick
Okay,
out
wait,
what's
yeah.
Vashon and what's Game of
It's
Thrones.
pretty
Vashon-
obvious.
So,
So I was
You're right, it's a great
no.
source.
Think about it. I was walking through the woods with my
Wait,
brother.
hold on. We need to do the
And we encountered-
the Twilight Zone, like, go back in time so we didn't have this conversation, and then we can guess. Hey, Colin, what's an interesting story about Vashon?
So I was wandering through the woods with my brother and father once, and lo and behold, we came across this merry band of music makers, very charming fellows. But then it turns out that they were actually attempting to what was it? I believe it is called smoke the cannabis, as they very well say in the land of Vashon. As you
Smoke the cannabis.
They smoke
every time.
the cannabis. Yes, Lee, you are familiar with this terminology, I do believe. And my friends left me. My friends who I was with left me there in our chariot car van, Sam's car van chariot. And my friends all went with these merry music makers into the woods to smoke pot.
When did this happen?
I'm mixing stories, let's be
Yeah,
honest
you are.
here.
When did we run
I'm
into
mixing
merry
that-
music men of the woods?
I'm mixing the
Not
time
just
that my
once.
brother and I ran into
This
merry
sounds
music
like
men.
this sounds more like Robin Hood than anything else. Meeting a bunch of merry men in the woods who smoke a mysterious weed and have good times together. This is
Well, there actually was a time that Lee, Max, Shane, Casey, and Sam went off into the woods, abandoned me, and smoked pot.
I'm sorry. We were young children. We didn't know what we were doing.
You pretended it was backpacking, and then we got to the mountain, and I
It
was like,
wasn't even on Vashon. This is not a Vashon story.
it
This
was
is a
because it was
story about
Vashon people. It was in high school,
True.
therefore it's Vashon.
You have to admit, going up on the mountain and smoking was pretty nice. Just saying.
You sound like
It's
such
true.
a stoner right now. It's
I
great.
was like 15.
Wait, did you
Those
smoke
days
with
are behind me.
No,
Well,
I
of
did
course
not. I
you
have
did.
never
Colin was much too straight-laced.
I have never
Continues
smoked
to
weed.
be.
Yes,
It took ages before you drank anything. If I remember
that's true.
correctly,
I didn't.
right?
Yeah.
It took Natalie to get me to even try alcohol.
Yeah, I like to think I
makes you
actually
instantly
have a
crazy.
large part of that, of making you drink. I mean, encouraging
him.
you.
You definitely enforced
You're the
it. since I got
definition of
back.
peer pressure.
In Fort Jesus.
Well, we were playing D&D the other night, and you were just like, Colin, drink this. I was like, no. And you're like, yes. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I drank it. So I guess it works, you know?
You're
we
so
should
damn suggestible. It's
destroy this
ridiculous.
podcast.
Oh, I'm
This is
sorry.
incriminating evidence against me.
Colin telling stories about me going up into the mountain and smoking is not exactly like
Lee,
it's gonna be
Lee,
floating around
talk
the airwaves.
this direction into the
Yeah.
computer.
Also, talk
sorry.
louder.
Oh, louder.
Louder.
Well,
Use my big voice.
Louder.
I'm not sure I have a big voice.
well, that voice is probably fine. You're closer to the computer than both of us, but
Okay.
yeah, just talk at the computer,
Yeah.
not us, which is weird. Like most weeks, we're in this position where like
Yeah.
we're both sitting here,
Oh God! Don't
and like
do
having
that.
to talk into the mics.
Yeah.
Which means our heads are like not lining up entirely
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I've perfected the art now of looking at someone while not looking at
It's
them.
oddly
Yeah.
uncomfortable
You know,
to try and have
yeah.
a conversation without making eye contact.
Yeah.
Do you ever
it
realize
is.
you're
Or you just
doing
have
that
your head.
thing where you look at someone but you're actually talking to them out of the corner of your face?
Well, I do that more because I don't like to make eye contact with people more than anything else. Please don't stare intently into my eyes. No, that's not what I wanted out of this.
No, okay, hold on. I'm attempting. Okay, I have a thought.
It's just
I'm-
difficult to,
allow me
like-
to communicate it with my eyes.
You think I'm a beautiful person, don't
I
you?
wanted you to make me mac and cheese.
Oh, that's too bad. I must have mixed it up with the "you're a beautiful person" look.
Oh, well, you
I
are a
mean,
beautiful person, but we could go
in-
make mac
Thank
and
you.
cheese.
In male
Good,
speak,
yes.
you're a beautiful person and make me mac and cheese usually are about the same thing.
Ouch.
Fair. Totally fair. No, that's how I operate. Also. Come on.
You walk up to someone like, hey, you're attractive, and they're like, come home with me and let's make mac and cheese. And they're like, oh yeah, they're taking off their clothes and like, what the fuck are you doing? Get in the kitchen. Make mac and cheese. Just imagine like Lee taking home like a 6'4" like rippled muscle man and getting him to make.
Excuse me.
Well, you, oh, right. 6'4" rippled muscled woman and like.
Really not
making
what I'm
mac and
into, but
cheese.
thank you.
Fine. A boyish, short cropped, glasses, about 5'4", sort of skinny, wears boy clothes.
This is really
white,
specific,
pasty,
but
and
accurate.
like walks towards you and is like, "Girl, let's make mac and cheese." And you're all like, "Yes, I'm so hot right now."
Yeah,
There.
that's about it.
All right.
Those have been
okay.
all of my dates. Actually, usually it's a pretext for video games and then sex, more than anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that's very effective myself.
Video
Let's play
games
video
and
games.
sex.
Yeah.
That sounds
It's
like
a beautiful
really,
combination.
I did
Saturday morning.
movies and sex the other night.
Well,
which-
that's pretty standard.
Actually, in the opposite order.
No way!
Sex then movies is
No.
fun.
You got it all wrong, man.
I didn't even watch the movie with her. Like, we came back to my room and we were planning on watching a movie, and I had the movie there, and she was like, "Oh, I'm too tired. I don't think I'll be able to make it through the whole movie." So we just sit there for a little while, and then she's like, "Hey, do you want to have sex?" And of course, my answer is yes.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah. So
That's for you, Aaron.
Me too.
So that happens, and then she
Yeah.
leaves, and it's like it's only 11:30, and I'm like, well, I might as well watch this movie.
Oh, I thought she
I
was
like that actually. Like that's a good use of your evening.
I was like, well, I really wanted to watch the
Well-
movie. I mean, the sex was nice, but I really actually just wanted to watch the movie.
Well, also,
I
like,
have that feeling a lot.
in movies, there's like a concept that like the culmination of like the relationship is having the sex and then like going to sleep like passionately or something like that. But
Yeah.
in real life, you could be doing it like on Tuesday at 2 p.m. or something like that. And
Afternoon
it's like,
sex is
what else
awesome.
are we supposed to do with our time? Like besides get up and do like everyday normal things. It doesn't like the screen doesn't fade to black and
Yeah.
you finish or
Well,
something.
you can do it. You could do what I used to do and just not get out of bed and have sex all day.
Well,
And by that I mean
special.
masturbate lonely to my.
Thank you, that's better. Feeling a little too
No.
single for that story right now.
Sorry.
But thank you.
I've done both, to my credit.
Well, good for you.
I know, it is good for me.
Well, the other thing is you can't really do that right now because like college, you kind of have to like get up and go to classes.
Sunday.
I mean, you can skip classes for sex. I've done that before.
What?
Okay.
You delinquent!
That was
You went up to the mountains to
It's
smoke your pots again, didn't you, young lady?
I just said I was having sex. There's a difference.
With the pot?
No.
Where did you get sex with the pot from?
I don't know.
I don't know. He took
I'm
like,
a man who exists in non
took a story
sequiturs.
and ran with it in the
Yeah,
opposite
see, that's what I
direction.
do.
You can't have sex with pot. Well, maybe you could.
You could have sex while
That's what
high.
I
Lots of
wanna
people do that.
That sounds really
Is that
difficult.
consensual?
That
Yeah,
well,
you just get like distracted and stuff.
I mean,
I
that
feel like a goat.
Like you're
Dude,
thrusting and you're like, oh man, flies.
I don't feel like I would want to. I mean, because being stoned isn't like, oh, flies. Like, at least for me, it's not a really distracted thing.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh, I get
sort of-
muddled as heck. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, I just
It's heck
I
when
just
I'm
get
12.
really sort
Yeah.
of relaxed and. Well, I mean, you're not supposed to be swearing. It's Lent. God damn it.
I'm trying.
Well, no, wait.
I will
Actually, no.
curse
You can
the
swear.
frick out of
no,
you. What?
can swear
When?
today because it's Sunday, and Sundays don't count.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Ever?
Sundays don't count when you're doing Lent. Sundays don't count. You can do what you normally aren't allowed to do.
I have to go. I have some people I need to cuss out. That's been the whole whole of Lent for me has been like just you wait, I'm gonna cuss you out so bad. Which is so against. I also use the phrase "cunty" like during Lent. I often remember why it's so bad. One of these
Swarmy
days.
maiden.
That's no. That's
I called Sarah Jezebel once. That's pretty good. What? It's.
Well, under what is the original context for calling someone a Jezebel?
Remember.
I have no reference for that. Is it like, hey, Jezebel, or it's like, hey, Jezebel, or it's like, hey, Jezebel, or
like sexy prostitute lady.
Oh, so you called Sarah a sexy prostitute. You're so classy.
Yeah, but I used a Bible reference, which made her happy. So I killed 2 birds with 1 stone in the biblical sense.
In the biblical sense. Well, we save Noah and we murder all the other guys. 2 birds, 1 stone. And Jesus is all like, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah, smoke some pot. And the holy dove, the Trinity thing is like, yeah, okay. So the dove and Jesus, they go and smoke pot.
The holy dove, the Trinity thing. Do you know what the Trinity is? We need to get Lydia
over
here real fast.
The dove is how they represent the Holy Spirit a lot of the time in art.
Yeah, which I've been researching for my research paper.
Okay, my mistake. I'm not an art historian.
Okay.
I'm a historian.
Well, so the dove and Jesus smoke
you're
pot
a
and
Russian
God floods
historian.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which
Eastern Europe. Jazz hands.
Eastern Europe within the last century.
For the most part, yeah.
Which is that's a pretty specific breed of historian.
You got to be specific to be relevant, and everybody wants to hear about my thoughts on Russia.
Yeah.
Do you ever
actually? You might be able to make sense because the whole Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Yeah.
Thing is going on right now.
Oh, it's hella relevant. It's really interesting.
I have no fucking clue what any of that.
Yeah, Lee, what's going on? Has Putin summoned the Balrogs yet?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us what actually that is?
It's so complicated. I went to the.
Give us like a for dummies.
1 minute history. Go.
Well,
not 1 minute history.
I can't do it in 1 minute. It's way too complicated.
Well, not an hour.
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm going to get some fact wrong, and somebody's going to call in and be like, "Hey, you didn't do that."
No one's going to call in. No one listens to
Nobody
this show.
gives a shit.
We had 2 people call in that one time, but no one could hear them.
Yeah.
Shoot. Who
no,
was
exactly.
it?
Lydia and my friend John.
Yeah.
Okay. That's too bad.
Yeah.
I'll try and do that at some point. Let's see, but no, I went to the Ukrainian panel that they had. It was super interesting, but the end game is just we have no idea what the hell is going to happen. We know what has happened. We don't understand what Putin's game is doing this in the first place, because basically, basically what happened was that there was protests in Ukraine regarding just general kind of. Living conditions and that sort of thing, specifically when it came to the political atmosphere. I think it was the main the prime minister or whatever was cracking down on protests in this particular way that Russia has been doing for a while, where that you can only do state sanctions protests and that sort of a thing. And they ended up overthrowing the government and kicking him out completely. He went and got asylum in Russia. And now Russia itself is slowly moving in on Ukraine and trying to take over, which is really bizarre. It's specifically the Crimean Peninsula, because the Crimean Peninsula is historically for Russia. Am I talking loud enough, by the way?
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
Just talk at the computer.
Yeah, but it was given over in the 1950s by Khrushchev. Hello. Sorry. I'm just coming by to make some faces. Hey!
The stream's down. You can't hear us, Brenda.
That's too bad. I wanted people to listen. I told people to
listen.
Yeah, no,
I told people to listen.
It's really disappointing.
Yeah, but you can direct them to the YouTube link. Anyway, Khrushchev.
I'll post it.
Yeah, so Khrushchev gave the Crimean Peninsula over to Ukraine in the past. Yeah, in the 1950s. It was part of because it's really complicated without going into the entirety of Russian history either.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So what I'm getting is Putin is doing weird shit.
He's being kind of sketchy and Soviet Union-y, if that makes any sense. It's not normal for a country to say we have people ethnically here and that's why we're going to roll in with tanks. The last time that happened, I talked to Alex about this. The last time that happened, that was with Hitler, which is interesting, honestly. And they do have a reason for that. ethnically it's like 80% or 90% Russian or something like that. So it makes sense that they would want to take that over, but at the same time it's like it seems like it's a political power play for Putin because his popularity ratings went from like 60% to 90% or something like that when he
that's
took over.
within Russia.
Yeah, because it's externalizing like a conflict. He's giving them somebody to hate and to take over.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Wait,
pretty
so
interesting.
because Putin tried to take over a bit of a thing,
Yes.
everyone in Russia loves him now?
Yeah, basically.
Wow,
I mean,
okay.
Well, I mean,
Bush's approval ratings went up like at the very beginning of the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's externalizing for it gives you like it unites them patriotically and it's
that-
we're gonna fight
that
people. and
always
shit.
happens
Yeah.
during war. Approval ratings for whoever the leader is, no matter what people think
Yeah,
of
it's
him,
United Front.
always go up.
Yeah.
Because people are like, well, it's us versus them, and the them is now so external that it,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, we have to rally around our glorious leader.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's really
Hail
interesting.
So what
NSA.
who's
I'll look in
who's
that,
in
yeah.
charge of Ukraine right now, and what's their response?
Nobody fucking knows. It's amazing though because like all these insane political groups have come out of the woodwork too. Like trying to read the like what's going on in terms of geopolitics there is just a big fucking disaster. I mean, a big freaking disaster. Excuse me.
No, it's
It's
not
insane.
Lent right now. Don't worry about it.
But what was it like Nazi groups started coming out and that sort of thing. Like there's a massive Nazi movement in
Holy
Ukraine
shit.
because of that. Like I had no idea that they had that many extremist groups, but they're basically like they've taken the chaos as a reason to do all kinds of things. Like if you watch Vice, which has like people on the ground there,
yeah.
oh they're
They
so
got
good at
attacked.
reporting there. Yeah, no, it's insane. And like they've gone up to try and like interview like Russian soldiers and that sort of thing. They're like, no, we're not going to talk and that sort of thing. Like I turned the captions off so that I could get the like it translated better. And basically like they're like it wasn't just like we can't talk to you. It's like we will not talk to you because people like you are the problem, like the people in the West.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they're talking about how America's intervention there, like even a little bit, even on the on the reporter scale, is evidence that the U.S. it sucks. Like it's this long-term kind of
So it's
discourse,
anti-American rhetoric, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Okay.
Putin's been doing that for a while, and he
Well,
can think
yeah.
long-term because he's a basic dictator.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's not a basic dictator; he's a very fashionable dictator.
Oh, hail the KGB. Woo.
Totally. I mean, he was
Little
part
flags.
of the KGB. He was quoted on saying that the biggest disaster of like the 20th century was the fall of the USSR, which is hilarious. Like seriously, man.
Does this mean we get Cold War movies again?
I mean, does
Thinking in my
Winter
small-
Soldier count?
I
love Winter
kind
Soldier.
of, actually.
Right?
I mean,
The
a
amount of
little bit. I mean, it was about Nazis, but
Why was it about Nazis? Should have been about Russia.
yeah.
It's so important to me.
Yeah, Russia's. I mean, Nazis.
Winter
are,
Soldier.
Nazis are so 70 years ago.
Right?
The Cold
Seriously,
War. The Cold War is like the newest thing, man, and it's
It is.
it's coming back into style. Like
Cold War. People are wearing my Cold War dress around. Like,
Putin.
Oh, God.
Putin
It's
is
the ugliest
bringing the
fashion
Cold
ever.
War back into style.
What a cool guy.
he'll
Oh
be
my
posing
God.
like topless with like Cold War propaganda flags wrapped around his legs, and
He poses
that didn't go
topless a
anywhere.
lot.
Yeah.
And on top of bears and that sort of thing.
On top of bears.
Have you not seen those pictures of Putin?
I
just
haven't
riding-
seen him
I mean,
straddling bears.
admittedly, they are photoshopped.
They're
but there
definitely
is
photoshopped.
there are ones
He's
of him
riding bears.
hunting. Yeah. There's ones of him hunting, just like shirtless and like carrying a massive gun, and one
God.
standing next to a bear corpse that definitely isn't photoshopped, and just like he's an interesting man.
Yeah.
See, what I know about this whole conflict mostly comes from Imgur, and all Imgur can do
That's
when it
accurate.
has a world problem is make fun of it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's the healthiest way to do it.
yeah, it's like we turn all this horrible strife and chaos into a joke. Is
It's
what the
true.
internet is doing right now.
I realized
And-
I do that a little
Yeah,
while ago.
It's
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
for coping, but it also means you can't actually address the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we can address the problem as American citizens living in the Pacific Northwest, but it's like,
You could raise awareness, which is nebulous and
Oh,
bullshitty.
fucking-
I hate raise awareness. I was
I-
just talking to Daniela about this. I hate raise awareness.
I hate it too. I
It's
remember
so
once.
nothing.
I remember
Ugh.
once my dad was telling me, because you know how a lot of people say raise awareness or send a message is another big one.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
want to
that's just
send a
straight.
message.
That's from the Dark Knight.
Yeah, but
Sending a message. See, that's funny. How is it? It's weird that the biggest activist slogan of the past 5 years comes from a crazy anarchist who
That's
wants
not
to
the
burn
biggest
everything.
activist.
Oh,
It's the biggest activist slogan of my life.
There we go.
The whole thing about I want to send a message, I mean, that's been around for a long-ass time, though. But my dad always equates that with, well, there are people who have these big satellite dishes that are pointing them out in space, and they're sending a message in case the aliens are listening. So
That's beautiful.
So that's like whenever I think
That's
of
so
anyone
good.
saying, "Oh, I'm sending a message," I think, "Yeah, you're broadcasting something into space in case any aliens are That's like
But
automatically.
people
what I
hear
think
that
of.
shit. Like,
Well, that whole thing is actually really cool.
Sometimes.
Like the all of the information that's encoded so that we can send it out in case people are actually hearing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I do see your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean the point being mostly that sending a message, while sometimes it might get through and be listened to,
Yeah.
and most of the time it's just sort of
Yeah.
useless.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a valuable.
No.
That's
when you
the
say
problem.
sending a message, like, what do you mean? Like yelling out, or like going to a protest, or making a massive
mean-
Well, this is
collaborative
a
art piece
message.
about
Ah.
it, or
That's a
here's,
message.
here's an example. My grandma fell down at an arcade and broke her hip.
I love that your grandma was at an arcade. Just saying.
I mean, she was there because I was there
Ow.
and my brother was there, and she came along with us. But she fell down at the arcade because there was like a raised platform, and that she didn't see it because she was wearing sunglasses.
Yeah.
And she's old.
Yeah.
And she broke her hip, and we had to take her to the emergency room, and she got a hip replacement and everything. And it all turned out fine, but my aunt, my grandma's daughter, goes, well, we should sue the arcade, or we should sue them. And my dad, who is a lawyer, was like, well, you're not going to win, and you're not really going to accomplish anything by doing that. And my aunt, she goes, well, it would send a message. Well, okay, like, what sort of message are you sending? Well, that you need to, like, mark the raised platform so that doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's sending a message that, well, you can't just sit idly by while someone breaks their hip in your arcade. You have to do something.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's just a waste of time and money. They're not, even if they hear the message, they're not going to do anything about the message.
Well, it's just another way of saying, like, I want to teach them a lesson. Like,
Right.
if somebody is a jerk to me, like, I will, like, there's a very strong part of me that wants to just go tell them off as opposed to, like, avoiding them or something like that. It's just a human response to, like,
Right.
want to tell somebody off.
Or slowly have your entire friend circle demonize them over a slow course of a couple months to have them effectively ostracized by society once they return to integrate.
I feel like this is a
way too
little too
applicable.
real. Listen to his evil laughter. I love it. Stop.
Sorry, I've been practicing.
Good. I'm happy for you.
Hey, you know what time it is, actually?
What time is it? No, it's whatever. Sending a message. So you say that, and I'm like, well, fuck. I was talking.
So
Who is this and where did that come from?
I don't know where it came from.
Really, it sounds
but
like somebody I know,
yeah.
but I'm not sure who.
We're going to send a message to George R. R. Martin in the next few minutes.
Good.
Yeah, fuck you.
Will he be listening?
Fuck you! Why fuck you? He's brilliant. He won't be listening, but we're
Yeah.
sending a message anyway,
Email
just in
it,
case
the
he
entire
is.
thing.
Yeah.
Get all of our chaos. I'm sure he'll listen to us.
Yeah,
Crazy.
no, he'll totally listen to this imaginary radio show recorded on a 9-year-old MacBook, put on YouTube by 3 random college students at Lewis and Clark
We're
College.
the worst.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are part of the problem. We are part of the problem.
Problem.
I don't know, but we've got to
The
be part
problem
of
of having a
something.
podcast? Having a podcast is
I don't know,
not
we
a problem.
just are. There's something in me that feels like we're part of the problem.
We're part of the problem of Generation Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you can turn that off now. He's getting whaley.
But that's the best part.
Whales! Alright, so Game of Thrones Season 4 airs tonight. None of us are watching it because none of us have HBO and because we're doing this radio show right now. So, if anyone does not want to have the entire first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones spoiled for them right now, they should not stop listening. Okay,
off
no one has
now.
stopped listening because we have one video person listening. Awesome.
Listener, you mean?
Yeah, that.
There we go.
The other thing is, if you really haven't caught up with all 3 seasons of Game of Thrones yet, it's fine if it's spoiled for you. It's fine. Like, everything but the Red Wedding, basically. Well, I mean, even the Red Wedding. You know the Red Wedding's coming.
Yeah, you know what it is, even if you don't.
Fucking Mal ruined it for me. I'm still pissed about that.
Yeah.
Alright,
I mean...
So where did season 3 end?
It ended with the Red Wedding.
But there was an episode after that, because Red Wedding was episode 9.
That was the last.
Yeah, it's Reigns of Castamere followed by Misa, which is episode 10. So there's actually another hour of footage after the Red Wedding.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So Bran goes with Hodor, Rickon, that kid, he's gay for him, and the lady who was a porn star. No, that's the other one.
Did you say a porn stark?
Porn star. The Tyrion's girlfriend,
Porn
her
star.
actress used to be a porn star. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, Bran's group goes beyond the wall. Ygritte shoots up Jon Snow with arrows and guns and shit, and Lord Commander Mormont is dead. Everybody died north of the wall. Jon Snow's the only one left.
Yeah.
So he goes back. He's going to become Lord Commander of the thing, inevitably. I mean, that's kind of what they've been setting him up for.
Yeah.
Joffrey's still alive.
Damn it.
Tywin is still alive. Damn it. The Red Wedding happened. All the Starks are dead, except for Arya, Jon, Rickon, and Bran and Sansa.
I mean, that's a fair amount of Starks that aren't
That's
dead.
5 out of 10. So.
No, the
10.
general rule is that if you're even slightly related to Ned, you're probably gonna die. Yeah.
Littlefinger is creeping on Sansa. Marjorie Tyrell is manipulating Joffrey from the background.
She's
trying to anyway.
Littlefinger is the greasiest.
Oh, she's good at it though.
Yeah.
She's easily one of my favorite characters,
Who?
Marjorie Tyrell.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
she's cool.
Also, because her actress is really gorgeous. I love her.
Yeah,
you might be a little biased.
It does help that she's really, really pretty.
I can't.
I like
remember
her.
what
I like
she
her
looks
mom.
I'll
Bring up
pull
the picture. Let's see.
Keep talking while I do
Yeah. What's her face? When Sansa is talking to Marjorie's mother, like the Oberyn Martell, someone different. You'll see him next season. But the other lady, she's like, oh, we're gonna take over Westeros, blah blah blah.
That's what she looks like.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I know,
she's
right?
gorgeous.
So pretty.
Yeah,
I know somebody who looks like her.
in
She
an
also has the most
extremely unconventional way,
magnificent-
but
Well, it's not
duck face.
extremely unconventional, but she's got like a really unique face.
yeah, she's got an extremely unique face, and I absolutely love it.
What color is her hair? I can't
Red.
tell.
Changes.
Good.
Yeah, no, she's a redhead. Do you have a thing for redheads?
Maybe.
No, see,
That was the last girl
this
I
is
dated.
a.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has a thing for
They're so
redheads.
pretty.
They're kind of rare, so
The
yeah.
more, the
Really, because
more,
I've been on dates with a surprising number,
Oh.
which
Well,
is like
lucky you.
2, I guess. But
I mean, oh Christ! Now I'm trying to think about the number of redheads I've dated. None. Hey, that was easy.
I counted up.
Nnatalie faked her
I
redhead.
counted up
Does that
with
count?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, if we're
Fake
counting
redhead.
fake
You
redheads,
are driving a red. Which are you?
What?
Never mind, never mind.
If we're counting faked redheads, then I mean, I don't really ever count her as my girlfriend, but she was like my first girlfriend. We were together for 2 years in like 8th and 9th grade.
Yeah.
Oh, so innocent.
I know, right? Well,
Those are good times. I
so
remember
innocent,
that.
but definitely not so innocent.
Oh
Some
my.
of the stuff that happened.
Really?
But I'm not going to elaborate on that.
Because we're on radio! Hey.
No, just because.
Let's get back on topic. Because I will seriously
But
want to
she had
hear.
dyed red hair. Is the like really bright red. Anyway,
I want to hear what you guys want to happen in season 4. That's what I want to talk about. Because I have my desires.
well, what do you want to have happen in season 4? Let's start with you.
I want Joffrey to die.
Not gonna
Dramatically.
Happen. Not gonna happen.
Drowned in a boiling pit of acid.
I want Jon Snow to become Lord Commander of the Night's Watch and start actually dealing with the fucking ice zombie problem. I want Stannis to take his troops in Melisandre and go help him. So we have this entire like allied front of all these Baratheon troops plus Jon Snow and the Night's Watch fighting the ice giant things. I want Cersei and what's his name? Jaime to have a really fucking messy breakup and then have Jaime not like her anymore or something because they were being all incesty.
That's not gonna happen.
I could. I don't know.
Did you read the books?
No.
Okay.
I want him to get a mechanical arm because he's currently missing a hand.
Wait, did you read the books, Lee?
Yeah.
Have you
How
read
many of
all of
them?
them?
No, not all of them. I'm basically up to about where season 3 ends. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know beyond, fortunately. Yeah.
That's good.
They're so massive. Like, I don't have time during school.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I mean, this is totally a personal preference, but like I read some high fantasy books, not very many in middle school and high school, and that's always the like biggest thing that I got made fun of
For reading
about for reading high fantasy things.
Seriously? I read those
that's awful.
religiously. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, no, and
I think most, yeah.
and I stopped reading them partially because I didn't want to get made fun of. But
What did you read?
I forget.
I read like the Sword of Shannara, and I saw a little kid reading it on the train back to school, and I got so excited. I wanted to come over to him and be like, "I read that when I was your age.
Oh my
That's so cool."
No,
It's
actually,
great.
I remember.
It's like
Did you ever read Redwall?
Yeah.
The Redwall series?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my
Such a
god.
TV show.
Did people make fun of you for that? That was such a good series.
Yeah, no, people made fun of me all the time for that.
Kids make fun of kids
I
for
don't think
everything.
people
Kevin.
make fun of me as a kid, or if like they did, then I either didn't notice or
Oh,
yelled at them
lucky you.
for it.
I got so much shit
I
for
just
being
sort
who
of
I
did
was
my-
when I was younger.
I know.
I really highly doubt that you didn't
No,
get
I think I
made
did,
fun of at
but-
school. I mean,
Yeah.
You probably just blocked it out of your memory or something.
No, it wasn't that though. That's the
Matrix has
thing. Is
you.
like no, it's like people did it really rarely. Words. People did it really rarely, or I ignored it. And if people did do it, then I would actually like actively yell at them about it because like nobody expects the very small short girl to like go off on them about it. And there's where I had the advantage. Like if I called them on their shit, they'd actually stop because they'd be like a little bit afraid of me.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So it usually stopped it in its tracks. Like. No, I wore my brother's clothes in middle school, and I remember a couple of girls like pointing that out and being like, "You should change." And I was like, "Maybe you should change your face pictures." I was mouthy. I get pissed
And then you
off.
cut those hoes up and down their spleens.
If people if people like make fun of me, I definitely did that. I remember that.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
we're way off topic.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this show is notorious for going off
All
topic.
right,
Go ahead,
I'm all
Doc
right
Simon.
with that.
I mean, you're saying this show is notorious for going... That would imply that we're notorious for anything. That would imply that we're well known by anyone at
Perhaps
all.
notorious was the wrong word. Perhaps between Lydia and Aaron, they think we go off topic a lot.
This, I mean, a probably more apt description is we do what we want.
Yeah, fair enough. But I still actually want to hear what you guys want to happen in season 4.
I think it would be really interesting to have Tyrion and Cersei and Jaime all in the same place at the same time. So all of the Lannisters are butting heads with each other
Yeah.
internally. And also because that means Marjorie would have to deal with not only manipulating Joffrey, but also steering him clear of them and sort of trying to get control of them or do things with them through the channel of Joffrey. Which
Yeah.
would be really I'm so interested to see how he's going to be her foil. How Joffrey is going to be a foil for Marjorie.
What do you mean?
How
A foil.
Marjorie is going to use him.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, she wants to be the queen, so...
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if like. Do you think that she's going to be able to use him though? I mean,
Oh, of
Joffrey's a
course.
little shit, but he's not stupid.
He's
pretty
very
stupid.
He's very
think?
suggestible.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
true. Yeah.
Like there are definitely the last few episodes of the season, Marjorie demonstrates that she knows how to get to him. She knows how to use him, and she demonstrates directly to him that even if he refuses to be used and resists her manipulation, that she is still better at doing what he does than him.
Does that make him an even less likable character because he is easily manipulated and that sort of thing? Because I feel like giving any kind of like sympathy towards him will make people hate him even more.
I don't
Like
know.
showing that he's
I
a
mean,
weak-minded character actually makes me dislike him even more.
Showing that he's a weak-minded character explains a lot about Joffrey to me because if I know that Joffrey's a weak-minded character, I'm able to justify. I'm able to see. Oh, that's why he's doing all these terrible things is because
Yeah.
he wants to appear strong, and all of this stuff, when in reality he isn't. He's compensating for something. It's a defense mechanism.
He's also just fucking insane. He did shoot up that girl full of arrows when she was brought in as a whore to him earlier.
Yeah, I mean, there's... I don't want to entirely, like, try and justify all of Joffrey's actions.
Please don't.
There's no way to do that.
Please don't.
I mean, there is a way to do that. It would just require more character work with Joffrey, which I'd really like to see, because I do want to sort of pick his brain and figure out why exactly he is, this...
He probably just wants to please his mother.
I don't think it's mommy issues, honestly.
I think it's family issues. Look at the Lannisters. Look at the pressure that's on
they're
him.
effed up.
And he's been told he's going to be king since he was born. That does fuck people up.
Well, yeah. But.
So, I don't know. And the king does whatever he wants. And his dad, his fake dad, Robert, wasn't exactly the greatest example of that. Being like, oh, looking down on Robert like, look at the king, he does whatever he wants. And then Joffrey's like, I can do whatever I want. Remember? He's also like... Well, how old is he? 16? 17?
But his disproportionate amount of cruelty that he displays, like, I feel like it goes a little bit beyond that. Like, it's not even just...
Yeah, totally.
And he's notorious for being, like Jaime and Ladyface, whatever. Cersei, there we go, thank you.
Lena Headey.
Like, they're terrible, but it's not in the, like, demonstratively, like, sick and cruel way that Joffrey can be sometimes, And that's a whole other set of issues that I don't feel like is addressed entirely by mommy issues,
Yeah.
Well, not entirely. No.
I think I think mommy issues definitely
for sure,
explains parts of it, but I mean there are definitely scenes where Joffrey is extremely defiant towards his mother, to the point where you wouldn't be able to say that's mommy issues, his defiance anymore. That's just him doing something to be spiteful, and trying to prove himself, not even to his mother, but just to the other people around him.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm also interested in the way that Tywin and Tyrion's relationship is going to develop. I'm just really interested in pretty much every relationship that's going on with the Lannisters right now.
Well, that would make sense for you, yeah. No, but one more thing about Joffrey, though. People do forget that, like, sometimes people are just pointlessly awful. Like, I realize that sounds, like, really jaded, but, like, it isn't always necessarily from a source.
That's
like,
true.
I think Joffrey just sucks. We know this already, but I think he might just
You could just
suck.
have a lack of empathy.
Yeah, I think he's a tiny sociopath,
I wouldn't call him a sociopath. That's a stretch. I mean,
Sucky child.
I do think you're right about there are some people who are just terrible people like that. I mean, there are obviously aggravating factors, but you're probably right. Joffrey's character, I feel like, was written to be, at the core, probably not such a great person that has been influenced by a ton of factors to be even less of a good person.
Yeah. Like, it's 40% or 50%, like, his natural personality, and then the rest is influenced through, like, having a really fucked up family, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, in answer to your question, what do I want to see? I want to see a lot more character development and, like, character relationship development amongst the Lannisters, and...
What is that face?
And Hodor.
It means I know things.
You know things? How do you know things?
I'm not completely unspoiled to this season. I know some of how some certain elements of the plot end up.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know anything. So,
it'll be exciting.
Also, did I mention Hodor?
Yeah, you did.
Hodor.
I know you like Hodor.
Hodor.
Mm-hmm. I want fucking what's her face, albino girl. What's her name?
What?
Daenerys.
I want
albino girl.
I want Daenerys to take over Westeros.
Yes, that is the number one thing for me.
I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I want it to happen at some point. Because fuck everybody in Westeros.
What do you want to see, Lee?
I want to see her take over. She's my most loved character, definitely.
Yeah.
You guys covered a lot of what I like, actually. What I want to see, actually, already. You know, like the Joffrey and the Pit of Acid thing and that sort of thing. I may have put that in myself, but... Yeah. No, Daenerys is just, like, one of the most interesting characters.
I want her to resolve her shit with Jorah.
I was just about to say that,
he's 50, and she's, like, 19?
At that point, yeah.
I don't know if that would even work out, but like,
wait, do you mean canonically in the books or in the TV show?
Oh, in the books they're even farther apart age-wise.
Yeah, I think that he's 50-something and she's maybe 17 at that point.
Yeah.
Like it's been a while, but it's pretty gross.
The youth will inherit the world.
I think I unfortunately predict that Daenerys will keep doing her thing, and Jorah will continue looking starry-eyed at her. And if we had a camera, I would imitate his face, but we don't.
Yeah.
I imagine there's going to be lots and lots of fucking in this season. Does
No.
anyone disagree?
I believe incest might play a part. Just
maybe a little bit.
Only a tiny bit, like just like
I
perhaps
predict
hinted.
that some people are going to get killed in creative ways.
I want
Creative and bloody, gory
Littlefinger
ways.
to suffer, but he's not going to.
Oh, I would hate it if Littlefinger died. Oh, Littlefinger and Varys are like two of my favorite characters.
They're horrible.
They're such
They look like my
slimy
skin
people.
crawl.
Exactly. That's why I love them because it's so hard to figure them out.
I feel like
so hard to figure them out.
I
and that's
have
what
this
makes it so
visceral
fun.
reaction against them that I feel like maybe you guys wouldn't quite understand. It's like it's something about like being a girl and like seeing him like creep on people too. It's just like
Littlefinger's creepiness puts me off.
Yeah, the guy from who's the guy who how can I forget this? Wormtail from Lord of the Rings. Is that the guy's name?
Wormtongue.
Wormtongue. That's it.
Wormtail is Harry Potter.
I know. Yeah, I mixed the two together. He had the same thing for me. I remember that specifically. Like there's just this really
creepy
sexual
guy. Sort of like.
Yeah. No, I remember like him like specifically giving me nightmares when I was younger. But just like that guy is like it just like it set off all of my creeper spidey senses and that sort of thing. So I'd like Littlefinger to die horribly so I can feel vindicated.
Yeah, me too.
Because
I just want him to stop creeping on Sansa.
I know.
Like, oh my god.
That needs to stop.
I hope as Sansa gets better at manipulating the people around her, she actually gets them killed.
That's what I want to see in the new
awesome.
season is Sansa being more awesome because I feel like people were just like shitting all over her for a long time.
Yeah.
Especially like because she's a much more realistic character than Arya?
Arya.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting all the names suddenly. But
that's fine.
Arya is the person that you want to be, and then Sansa is the person that you probably would be. Like it's true. It's true. It's
I mean, Arya is gonna do some fucked up shit in the next
She's
season
playing the
because she's
game
becoming an assassin basically.
Yeah.
But Sansa is like, oh, everything sucks. Oh, my dad's dead. Oh, my mom's dead. Oh, my brother's dead. Oh, look, everyone's
It's a
dead.
natural reaction. But Sansa learns to play the game, and that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Like, seeing her character development is beautiful, and seeing that in the 4th season would be amazing.
Yeah.
How to survive amidst politics and politicians and policies and things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, while the whole thing with the White Walkers in the North are, like, sort of interesting,
Yeah.
I don't like Sam.
Oh, Tarly?
Yeah.
He's so cuddly.
I don't know why. I just find him annoying and stupid. And
He might be written that way on purpose.
Right, and I don't like that. I
Not everybody's a perfect, pristine, highly manipulatable character, Kevin.
No. I understand that. And I like characters who aren't manipulative or manipulatable.
Yeah.
But there's something about Sam that just annoys me. And I really wish... I'm not going to say I wish he would die, because that's probably going to happen. But
they'd never kill him. Come on, unless it's like that last march, like there's a huge battle, and he's like no, and then Sam dies, and John's like they're like that's how that ends.
He's going to stay alive to bother Kevin,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
He'll come back as a ghost.
To haunt Kevin.
Ghost Sam.
I think part of the reason why is also just because I find the actor who plays him really sort of odious in a not quite over the top way, but like in a I'm overplaying all of the things which can be made subtler.
You mean you just
sort
think
of
he's
way.
a ham-fisted actor? Not very good?
I think that he's not giving as much characterization as possible, and that could be an effect of the writing too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like he's not as he's more of a one-dimensional character to me.
Yeah. I kind of get that
is
feeling from Jon
Kind of
Snow.
like the token doofus. I mean, by that logic, you could say that Hodor is kind of one-dimensional.
Hodor's a joke character.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Sam isn't supposed to
The
be
only
taken
reason he
seriously.
exists is to carry Bran on his back.
Yeah, but Sam isn't meant to be taken entirely seriously either.
Yeah,
he's a pet.
I guess.
Yeah.
I just want him to be taken more seriously, which is why he's annoying, I guess, is because okay, that's it. Is because I actually do like Sam's character.
Yeah.
I feel like they're not giving it a fair shake.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like you can draw parallels between him and Sam from Lord of the Rings. I realize I'm making
Although I love
Lord
Sam
of the Rings.
from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, he's a bit more of a respectable character, and it's also interesting that they're both like Sams and both like a little bit kind of squishy or whatever you wanna call it.
You know, Jon Snow. I hope he learns how to act a bit better in the season because I think of Jon Snow and he's always like
That's kind of his thing, man.
just staring off into the distance,
Is
being
looking
like,
haggard and
squinty
beautiful.
eyes.
yeah, like, and then you get so like you know nothing. Jon Snow, he's like.
And he
He really looks like he knows nothing.
Apparently, he does know something, though.
Yeah, he knows one thing.
Yeah.
Please all the ladies in the Westeros.
All of them?
All of them.
Oh, that sounds
Well,
so gross.
only
They've been like
Ygritte
traveling for so long.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Grimy ass
do you know
dirt
what time it is?
sex.
Because we're definitely...
Miller time?
Well, we're... Did you say Miller time? You get a fucking high five for making a beer joke. I love you right now.
You'll love me less when I tell you that's not actually a beer joke. It's a Calvin and Hobbes joke
fuck
referencing
you.
a beer joke.
Oh, I knew it! I knew he was doing that! I knew it!
I mean, that's still great, and I appreciate the hell out of
wonderful.
it. But actually,
These both parties.
it's late night time because we've been talking for way longer than I actually thought we were.
Yeah, it feels like 10 minutes, but it's been an hour.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But I mean, that's fine. We can totally go over. There's no like time limit on our imaginary radio
sure.
show. But I just want to play the late night theme, just so we know that we're transitioning into late night mood. So.
But you can bet I would if I could.
It's just like under your hair. It's just like. Yeah. Oh, late night.
Your hair is just like a frizzy mess.
Shut up, I look amazing.
It spreads everywhere.
Sure you do. So yeah.
Is that two men? Okay, never mind. I'm really happy
No,
with
the really shitty '80s music video to go along with this song.
Can you play?
I
Can
love
our exit song be
babes.
"What Is Love"?
No,
Please.
No,
I had that GIF stuck in my head. Oh, it's like.
no, that's not going
You're
to be
that
a
guy.
going
That's
out
not
song.
how you dance.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's the GIF. It's where they're doing the
Oh
thing.
my
The
god!
headbang,
I
yeah,
just
I know what you're
remembered
talking about.
one of my friends, David Droz. I love this guy. He's like one of my favorite people. He was my friend since like kindergarten,
Yeah.
all the way through the end of high school. We always had math class together somehow. We never planned it that way. Either way, prom night.
Shout out to David Rose, my boy.
My boy, actually, not your
Kevin's boy.
Yeah.
Go on.
My boy.
Aaron's boy.
Also Aaron's boy. But David Droz, on prom night, I remember looking out on the dance floor and seeing him because he's this tall, very spindly, like, think Eric, only a little bit shorter.
Okay. It's not hard to imagine.
But definitely as awkward with his body.
Eric running is like a giraffe. It's so great.
No, and think nerdy and takes himself a bit more seriously than Eric.
Okay.
But I mean, so David Droz is out there on the dance floor, like sort of around, not around the middle or anything. He's like around the side.
Yeah.
But he's doing these dance moves that I'm like, those look vaguely familiar. Oh wait, those are the dance moves that in this video game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, there's this like mini game where you can make your character dance, and they have these really terrible dance movements, and he's doing them because that's what he knows about dancing, because he played Knights of the Old Republic. And
to be fair, I think Commander Shepard's dances in Mass Effect are even worse.
Yeah,
because Shep's just like this. It's hideous.
So beautiful.
Depends if it's female Shepard.
They're both awful. I'm sorry. The mocap is just.
Oh God. Well, I see someone's charitable tonight.
What?
No, what
Femship
was I
does
going to
fine.
start talking about?
Femship does fine.
Yeah.
All dudes look ridiculous dancing. It's a rule. There's like maybe
All
two-
dudes? Freddie Mercury.
The
No.
vast
Yeah.
majority.
I agree with Colin. We have to invoke Freddie Mercury. He does
Invoke
not.
the Freddie Mercury
Yeah.
law. Yeah.
No, he does not look ridiculous dancing.
There are very
definite-
few men.
There are definitely more men who look good when they're dancing. Any male who can competently break dance, hats off to them. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Okay, so there's this thing
That's
in
learnable.
Japan
Yeah.
that's totally related to what you just said, actually, it is. There's this thing in Japan where late at night, like 11, 12, hi Brenda! There'll be this thing where, because they have these huge rail stations, because everything's connected by these big trains.
Yeah.
Like little stations and a lot of the big stations just have malls connected to them, because all their entire, like, moving. Their transportation is dictated by trains. So at night, the kids will use the train stations after they're closed as like meetup spots. So you'll have like these underpasses, like these huge, like really large open underpasses where there'll be all these kids, high school kids, practicing breakdancing and bike tricking and skateboarding moves and like martial arts and weird, just like
That's amazing.
interesting. It's like this weird little like culture of people and like smoking and motorcycle helmets and like also like doing these insane like do that thing where they spin on the top of their heads like on
That's
the ground.
breakdancing. That's part of breakdancing.
Yeah, so those are breakdancing and just it's so cool.
All right, I apologize to all the men out there. There are some wonderful dancers.
Yeah,
I haven't
they're-
seen many
they're
of them.
definitely
One
wonderful
of my
dancers.
exes was fantastic at it. Also, Steven's boyfriend is really good. There's just like in the vast.
Stephen Bennett?
Yeah, he's great. Did you not know
Stephen
that?
Bennett has a boyfriend? Brenda!
Now, Brenda's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Getting tired here is a good
I knew what you
dancer.
meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and there are a ton of
Stephen Bennett's boyfriend is Stephen Bennett.
He's in a relationship with himself. Don't worry about it.
There was this one couple, like my jazz band would always play big band dances at one point in the year, usually in the spring. There was always this one couple in their 30s who would show up
At the high school dance?
at the high school big band dance, because it was open to the public.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
everyone could go. It was like $5 entry fee. And oh my god, they were fucking fantastic. They were like professional level. And I talked to the guy once, and like that's what they did for fun. That couple on weekends, they would find a big band dance anywhere and
That's
go
amazing.
to it. They would just that's
And
what
show
they
up
did.
all the kids.
Yeah, and they would be way better than everyone else.
Well, they're
And,
practicing, yeah.
And occasionally, one or the other will, sit on the side while the other one goes and dances with an incompetent high schooler who's just like blown away by their dancing abilities. But,
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Show kids that you can do better than the white guy shuffle.
Yeah, no, totally. I was inspired by that, and then promptly went home and ate a bag of Cheetos and fell asleep.
You're an inspiration.
I'm a gentleman and scholar. No,
I can feel that.
I really actually still regret to this day not putting my saxophone down when I had this long break in a song and going and asking the woman for a dance, because she was
should've
standing
done
there
it.
not doing anything.
Do you have any moves, though?
No.
But go be like, teach me how to dance, please.
Yeah, no,
Show me your waist.
exactly.
That's like.
I would have been totally fine with her just taking control and doing everything. I mean, I'm a natural
God, I
sub
would love
anyway.
Moving on.
No.
Let's not talk
But-
about that.
No, I really wish she would have. I really wish I would have put my saxophone down and gone to dance with her, if only for the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I find myself doing a lot of things
Things for the
just for the
show-
story.
yeah.
But
I thought you might be one of those people. It's not a bad thing necessarily.
No,
it leads
I
to
mean,
some really good experiences. Definitely.
there's tons
Yeah.
of stuff, and the other thing about doing stuff just for the story, is it gets you into situations that you honestly normally wouldn't be in.
Yeah.
And makes you like cope with them and grow from them a lot of the time.
Well, the vast
Like,
majority of the time, you also don't die from it. So it seems like
Yeah.
it's like generally you're not horribly humiliated. Like on the off chance that you are, like
Yeah.
so what, you did it. But
Yeah.
Generally, you don't die from it, so it's probably worthwhile.
Fucking for the story experience I had in India, I was humiliated, though, because, some weird white guy who's bigger than all the Indians and kind of clumsy and doesn't really know the language, but is kind of enthusiastic and wants to get in on whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Just sort of stumbles in, "Hi, can I eat some lamb with you?"
You're like, "Hello, may I please partake in this?" All I hear is, "Hodor, Hodor, Hodor, Hodor."
No, I'm sure I'm sure like the majority of what they were saying in Hindi or whatever Indian language.
Just look at this fucking white guy.
Was some derivation of, "This guy's really fucking weird. Let's make a bunch of jokes about him and laugh in front of him because he can't understand us."
Well, have you ever been in a position where you knew a language particularly well and you heard other people walking around like commenting on other people in that language?
Yes.
It's so much fun because like I can listen to people like talking shit in Russian like next to me and that sort of thing, just sort of like casually join in the same language or something like that. It's brilliant because it's obscure and difficult enough that they won't think that there are other people around. So you can listen to them having all these conversations like, "Look at that guy."
There was a French couple in this cafe in India who was they were like really going off on the waiter about how he didn't understand their English and a bunch of stuff, and it actually like I chimed in and I started speaking with them in French, not like disparaging the waiter or anything, just sort of talking. And then eventually when their waiter does come back over and the waiter's speaking, he barely speaks any English, mostly speaks Hindi. So then I was in the position I had to translate between French and Hindi, which was really fucking weird because neither of those are my first language and I'm not very good at either of them. But it was a weird situation where the French couple was sort of talking shit about the Hindi-speaking waiter to me.
Yeah.
And then the Hindi-speaking waiter was talking shit about the French couple, talking shit about him to me.
That's great.
So I got like I was in the best of both worlds, right? That was a really surreal experience too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Do we have a show title?
Fuck, I haven't even been thinking about show title. Sending a message.
Sending a message.
I don't know. Actually, yeah, because
we've been all over the place. What else are you gonna call it?
Sending a message.
We're
sending a message ironically.
Oh god, we're so loose.
It's like upvote this post if you like bagels, but it's got like all this like text font and imagery from like American like advertising and like shots of like streetcars moving really fast and like cityscapes and like all these like interracial like communities interacting.
Where the hell are you going with this?
I'm just telling you what an average American commercial looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although apparently like people get really upset about interracial commercials still.
Really?
Remember
Cheerios
that Cheerios
commercial
like a few months ago
I haven't
or
actually
a
seen
year
that.
ago?
I do know about it though.
That a ton of people got really upset about that. Or there was another one recently for another cereal. I forget what. Why is it always that people get pissed off at cereal commercials over anything else?
Because it's a really like kind of universal thing, I feel like, and the fact that like a lot of the time it's going to be like mothers at home watching, I feel like, and that sort of thing.
Also kids.
It's going to be a lot of people that are probably conservative. Like I'm imagining the people who watch cereal commercials is like a mother at home like with kids or something like that.
You're talking about the people who watch cereal commercials as if it's some like demographic of people
Kevin,
who like actively seek out cereal commercials like, ooh, I think I'm going to watch the Kellogg's commercial today.
The new Lucky Charms commercial is just fabulous. Lovely cinematography on the exact proportions of the Lucky Charm.
Have you seen the Frosted Mini Wheats commercial this week?
Seriously,
good
it's a
shit right there.
demographic.
The Cheerios are 1.5 sizes larger in their commercial than they actually are. I cannot believe the insanity of them. They're trying to force this larger piece. They're trying to sell us this thing that isn't actually true. How can they do this? It's advertising. Oh my god. Fascists, American, liberals.
Okay.
Oh, I hate them.
Colin, you ran it into the ground.
This is what every topic. This is the end of every topic on this show. Welcome to What the Hell Did You Expect?
Colin's running
Fascist
into the
Nazis.
ground. Trademarked.
Speaking about, and we're probably close to being done.
Yeah.
But one
sleeps are
thing
coming.
you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier this week that I was really interested in talking
Yeah.
about more with you. You're babysitting now for
Oh yeah.
this family that is entrusting you with their 6-month-old
Do you
child.
think I'm not competent?
No, that's not where this
great.
is going.
I'm gonna interrogate.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to ask you, how did
okay.
that go?
How did it go? You
yeah.
mean the experience, or me finding them in the first place, or something like that?
No, the experience. How do you find childcare?
Oh, I'm really good at it, actually.
Yeah?
I don't exactly know why. I can just relate to them pretty well. I mean, maybe not the 6-month-old. We're not having deep intellectual conversations there, but it was an experience because it's the first time that he had been left alone and that sort of thing. So he was screaming he was screaming his head off for half the time once he figured out that his mother was gone.
Oh.
So that was kind of unfortunate. It's a gigantic baby. Now that I think about it, he's 6 months old and 16 pounds. I feel like that's too much.
God. Are you
right?
serious?
He's big, yeah.
Will he fit in the crook of your arm?
Well, I didn't balance the child in this space, but
I don't know.
Potentially, yeah.
I mean, my dad would always make jokes about how
Yeah.
you used to be the size of a football. I could put you in my forearm. Yeah.
No, he's huge.
your impression of your dad is very old world Americana, and I'm wondering where you got that.
What, you mean my impression just there, or all my impressions?
Most of your impressions of your dad. Because I think of your dad and I think Cold War spy or something.
Why do you think Cold War spy?
The way he dresses is just sort of aloof. Whenever I come over, he's just like, and I'm like, "Hey, Kevin's dad." And he's like, "Yeah." And he goes up to your mom and he's like, "Hello, yes, we need to let us take care of Jackson. Oh, how are you? How are you today?" My dear.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, what's up?
At 11.
Huh?
It just started this week.
Wait, what?
You have a show at 11?
Yes, I do.
Since when?
So this week.
Oh, okay.
Shoot.
Well, here's the other issue is the stream isn't even working right now. So, yeah. No, we're actually sort of recording our show right now. So, okay.
You're pre-recording the show.
Well, not really. We always make a show and put it on YouTube as a podcast for there.
So we're interrupting your show right now?
Don't worry about it. It's fine. No one listens. No one listens. No one cares. This is actually.
How do you guys do it? What do you guys do?
We basically.
You want to end the show and then tell them?
Here, let's end the show. No, actually, we were about to end it anyway. Here, let me just put on the music and then actually.
Take your time, it's fine.
Yeah. No. Here we go.
All right. So yeah, we're putting it into it.
Yay! It was good being here.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Sorry.
No worries.
Oh man, I just got really tired.
Yeah, standing up like that.
Just